private message. Okay, the recording has started, but we'll start properly in a couple of minutes' time. Joanne, I live in the northwest of England. From NI, just like yourself. Yo, excellent. Just loving greeting everybody like the maitre d' who's coming in. Good morning, I'm Leslie from Untapped, joining from Melbourne. Hello, another member of the Untapped family. Leslie, I'm really glad to have you here. So people are coming. This is exciting, really, really exciting. We have some people from Jacobs. And of course, we have a certain someone from Jersey here as well, the lovely Charlotte. But it's lovely to see this just at the start, is that there's kind of like global reach in our launch event, which is absolutely fantastic to see. I'm really pleased with that. So it has now hit 9 o'clock. So without any further ado, I think we should just go on ahead and make a start. First of all, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the ION Global Launch, the first event, the 9 a.m. event. We do have another one at 5 p.m. this afternoon. My name's Jude Morrow, and I will be your host and MC for this amazing, amazing event. And for me, what this is about change, because I think it was Cardinal Thomas Wolsey that once said, be really, really careful what you put into your head, because you'll never, ever get it out. And with ION, the Institute of Neurodiversity, that is exactly what we seek to do, because on a global basis, there have been so many negative attitudes, misnomers, mistakes, and often really antiquated ideas whenever it comes to those of us who are different, whether that is autistic, dyslexic, ADHD, dyspraxia, and various other neurotypes. We're all so different, and for so many years that was often stigmatized. It was often negative. It was often viewed in such a terrible light that ND people like us couldn't really succeed and have the opportunities that we were always entitled to. So ION as a concept is a group of ND people, and whenever like-minded people come together, good things happen. It always does, because with ION, there has been a global steering group that has been operating for the last year or so, and we have the incredible Morrow Stewart. I know we have Charlotte at the top, and Charlotte will come in to address you in just a few moments. We have Jeremy Davey, Miranda Morgan, myself, Andre Skeppel, and we are a wonderful collection of ND people that not only have worked together to bring ION from idea to concept to reality and launch here today, but also have become very well connected, and dare I say it, friends for life. The overall mission of ION is to have 1 million members by 2025. That is an ambitious mission, and with the global steering group, that is our journey together as a team, along with all of you. So I want to thank each and every one of you for starting our journey to 1 million hearts with a single step. And here this morning, we are all taking that one step together. And throughout the world, ION is going to be the voice of neurodiversity on a global scale and a global basis. And we are going to demonstrate that for you here this morning. Because like most communities, there can be divisions, there can be fractures, there can be differences of opinion. And what ultimately we want to do, and what ION wants to do, is to unite everyone in the name of neurodiversity, which is a model of acceptance and love. And with every great idea, it always needs great leadership. And coming into this space, coming into the corporate sphere, and coming into the working world as an autistic person can be incredibly hard. I know from my own personal experience, and the founder of ION has had a very, very similar experience. And since being more comfortable and accepting of her ND identity, things have gone from strength to strength. And this is all down to the vision of our leader and founder of the ION, the Institute of Neurodiversity, the wonderful, the talented, the gifted, and dare I say, my friend, Charlotte Valeur. And this would not be possible without our corporate sponsors. This would not be possible without companies and corporations from all over the world supporting us. We have Jacobs, we have Wood PLC, and by the way, Jacobs Engineering. Sorry, I just had to save that back for everybody else from Jacobs who are here. Wood, Untapped, Stanton Chase, Lang O'Rourke, the Global Governance Group, Jersey Electricity, and Hattons. So I am sure you're all incredibly curious as to how the concept of ION came to be and how it came about. So I feel that words do not capture my admiration, love, and respect for the ION founder, Charlotte Valeur. So I would love to welcome Charlotte up onto our stage to talk about the journey of ION and how ION can ultimately serve you. And I suppose before you start, I just want to say to you, for me having this opportunity, not only to host this show, but to be involved from me and the rest of our steering group, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And I will let you take it away, Charlotte.
Thank you so much, Jude. That was a very lovely introduction. And yes, you are my friend. I think it's ended up more than family. I mean, you cannot imagine how delighted I am to be here today and announce the launch of the Institute of Neurodiversity. It's like a dream come through, and it's quite extraordinary. It has, in fact, been a really extraordinary journey, and a lot has been achieved during just 1 year. It started really last summer. Well, initially the idea around bringing people together in the neurodiversity space emerged after I got diagnosed 5 years ago with autism. And the pressure sort of arose slowly for me to disclose publicly from a number of people. I was feeling for some years that it was hard to do because I had a risk of getting professionally discriminated against, which shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't have to have these thoughts, but I did. I'm a single mom with 3 kids. I have to make sure I can earn money. I'm not rich, all of this, right? So I had to have a real purpose of making neurodiversity of all kinds fully accepted as a natural variations of humans with going public. So I did that. And after I went public in July last year, I got contacted by a huge number of neurodivergent individuals from around the world. The outpour of compassion, support, and celebration was absolutely amazing. I cried on many occasions. It was extraordinary. This was really the push that needed to get together with a group of those individuals and start ION with a global steering group to see what we can do with bringing us all together. So this last year, the journey between us, we have laughed, we've cried together, we've shared our stories, our wins and our struggles. We've actually never met face to face in person. And it's quite extraordinary what we have achieved during pandemic and everything else. And everybody here feels like family to me. And the achievement that we have come together with this group is what has made today possible. So alongside all of these amazing individuals, we have a number of companies, as you just saw, who believe in us and what our vision is, and that we can actually achieve it. A million thanks to all of our founding corporate members and your belief in us. That is really key for us to keep going. I'm hugely ambitious for the world and the human beings in it, especially the neurodiversity community who has so much talent to give and to share, and who deserves to have equal opportunities in every way around the world. And we will try to help that happen. We will start today with 12 services. It was initially 6, but it kept growing on us. We have our key headings of how we will achieve more equality for all of us in the world. And the first one is more awareness through training. We have a classified where we have people offering training that we feel we can stand behind. We have neurodiversity stories. We have chats to increase awareness around the world. We want to work with collaboration with other organizations, with each other, again, seeing sort of all of us around the world coming together in one big network is just amazing. Connection between us. If we can end up having a mesh of neurodiversity networks around the world that are all connected in a local way, but also in a global way, we will cover the planet as it is with our community in a live way, with a voice and with agency. We will do that through networks. We have events and we have forums on our website that we can all take part of. Some of them are private, some of them are public, but it will certainly help to bring us together. We want to celebrate. We want to celebrate anything neurodiverse, individuals, companies doing great work, governments doing great work. So from next year, we will put together annual awards to ongoing celebrate people, which we will also do in our community on the website. We will also do research. We have an amazing group of university researchers coming together, and we'll have professional development and research led by these universities around the world. We will publish a neurodiversity journal with SAGE that will come live next year. We will be looking for sponsors to have that as an open access so that everyone around the world can read the research that is led and influenced by us neurodiverse individuals and by our allies around us as well. But there's a lot of research out there that is mainly done by other people, not us. So we're very much looking at the nothing about us without us also in the research we will be part of. We will also want to do some neurodiversity leadership training, for example, which has been called for, also to help all of us advocate and work as that leadership group of people telling the world more about us. All is led by the ION community. We will represent us, we will have a voice, we will do surveys, advocate for change. We will be the premier advocating organization for everything neurodiverse nationally and globally. We will work with governments, businesses, academia, and the third sector to help neurodivergent individuals prosper. That is really our purpose. We want all of us to prosper on an equal footing to everyone else in the world. We believe that through bringing all our voices together, we can mobilize opinion and successfully influence for a much more inclusive world where we are accepted fully by everyone. In addition, we have a mental health benefit, which we felt was very important to have. Mental health becomes an issue for many of us because of how society reacts to us. So we have a strategic partnership with RTN, where for a fixed fee, our members can have unlimited access to mental health therapists, a mental health app, 24/7 helpline, and more. There's too many times we have heard people feeling lonely, not being well mentally, not knowing where to reach out and who to speak to, who actually understood both general mental health, but also the struggles we as neurodiverse individuals have. And we will also set a mental health forum that all our members can be part of, where we can share our stories, but also ask questions, and RTN will be involved with that as well. So in the next 3 to 4 months, we'll have introductions of a number of our services, like mental health. We'll have a research event, we'll have a forum, a network event, chat events, stories and voice events, so that you all get more familiar. We will video it all like we do with this, and it will be on our website so that people can see what all our services where you can be involved are all about. We've had so many strategic partners that helped us on this journey. One of them is 10 Clouds in Poland, who delivered our logo, and lots of other people and organizations around the world that's been helping us. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of that and all of the hours you spend on Zoom calls with us. We need a voice and an agency globally, and it's through coming together as a community we will gain that. Together we will support each other, we'll educate the world, and we will influence for key change. We want to help businesses, governments, academia, and the third sector around the world support their neurodiverse employees and allies, and be able to attract and retain this large talent pool for their growing businesses. We are here to make a real difference, and with all of your help, we can make sure that everyone feels free to be who they are, wherever they are. Thank you so much for being here today, and enjoy the rest of the event celebrating ION and everything neurodiverse with us. Thank you
so much, Charlotte. Thank you so much. I just feel so uplifted whenever I hear you talk, Charlotte. Every single time, it's like we all here in the community have a certain spoon allowance, and whenever I speak to you, Charlotte, I just feel those spoons coming back and back and back and back and multiplying and growing. So thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Charlotte, for
Thank you,
having
Judy.
this wonderful idea, and not just having this wonderful idea, but making it a fantastic and really admirable reality. So thank you so much for that, Charlotte. And following on from what Charlotte has said, we do have corporate sponsors and members who have supported us on our journey, which we will hear from soon. But you may be wondering how ION is going to have a global expansion. And we have our next speaker is coming to us all the way from down under in Australia. So without any further ado, I am really excited to introduce to you the lead for ION Australia, the CEO of Untapped, Mr. Andrew Eddy.
Thank you so much, Jude. Well done, Charlotte. It's just been amazing speaking with you over the last year or whatever it's been. It's been fantastic to talk to you. Hello, my name is Andrew Eddy from Untapped, and I will be taking the lead for ION in Australia. Untapped works with organisations and individuals on a range of neurodiverse initiatives, so ION actually fits really well with all the things we do. I'm personally very excited about the Institute of Neurodiversity because I think it will really have a profound effect on the whole narrative and profile around neurodiversity. This is important, I think, because we are actually all neurodiverse. That is the original concept, or the original intent of the concept that was coined by Judy Singer, the Australian sociologist, to recognise this infinite neurocognitive diversity of the population. She also believed it was a critical characteristic to the survival of the human race, in the same way that biodiversity is critical to the survival of the planet. The medical profession has created a number of different neurominority labels for groupings of characteristics such as autism, ADH, dyslexia, etc. But each neurominority has a range of strengths and challenges, and it also needs to be understood that different neurovariations are not siloed, and there are lots of overlaps between them. So it is really important that we foster neurodiversity and include and accommodate everyone. It is a bit of a journey, but it starts with us all being aware of this whole area, coming from the stance that people aren't broken, and picking up the theme from Temple Grandin's book that neurodivergent people are different, but not less. I feel very privileged with the very rich experience I've had over the last few years working with a whole range of neurodivergent individuals, and I really encourage people to join ION and embrace this whole area. So I'm now going to pass across to Lisa Farrell at Wood PLC, who is another one of the founding members. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. It's fantastic to be here representing Wood, and delighted that we're one of the founding corporate members. Our ambition really at Wood is to create a place where everyone feels like they belong. And that means that we have to help everyone understand how every single employee navigates the world. And we're early in our journey. We have got a small community at Wood, and it's a mixture of people who are neurodivergent, but also a mixture of parents. Or family members who are supporting and learning together. We've got, you'll see the logo behind me, we have a framework at Wood. It's called Myriad, and it encourages everyone to think about my role in inclusion and diversity. And that's got 3 themes to it. It's education, it's empathy, and it's engagement. And really, you know, when we started to talk to Charlotte and we heard about the ambitions and the values of what ION stands for, you know, we couldn't see anything but positives of coming together and working together. I think that being part of ION will enable our employees really to educate themselves about what it's like for our colleagues and potentially for their family members, and really start to empathise and understand what life is like, and whether there are things that we can do within the workplace to make it a great place for everybody to work. And I guess, you know, that part of that empathy is when we feel that maybe we aren't getting things right, that we're able to step in and take some action and maybe change things from a workplace point of view. And I guess that, the final part that's so exciting is that, I said to Charlotte last week, is that we're going to smash 1 million members. I totally think we are, because I think when anyone comes together, the power of the possible of kindred spirits coming together and encouraging one another, it's just a phenomenal exercise. I guess on a personal note, it's hugely important to me. And every time I am seeking some guidance, I always go to my favourite boss, and that's Bruce Springsteen, by the way. And a few years ago, I read something that he wrote. And it really, really struck for me at that point. And it said that the one problem with the educational system is that it's only recognizing a certain type of intelligence, and it's incredibly restrictive. There are so many types of intelligence, and people who would be at their best outside of that structure are getting lost. And that really resonates for me, because when my son was 6 years old and we were starting to see that he was struggling with his learning and having some difficulties, we were told by the teacher at his school at that time that he was in a very academic and very competitive environment and he'd likely never succeed. He was 6 years old, 6 years old. And she looked at me as if I would be disappointed. How can I be disappointed with this curious, inquisitive, compassionate little boy who at a drop of a hat could tell me the history of World War I and the Romans? Okay, he maybe couldn't count to 10 properly, but my goodness, he's got a lot more to offer the world. So we do need to get better. We need to work together from an education perspective, from a society perspective, and all the things that ION are hoping to achieve. And I'm just absolutely delighted that we're here at the start of this journey. And thank you to Charlotte for and everything that she's doing and the team that she's got around her, because I think that great things are going to happen. So thank you very much. Delighted to be here.
And thank you both, Lisa and Andrew. And once again, without the sponsorship of both Andrew and Wood and the rest of our founding corporate members, none of this will happen. And it's very interesting that, just following on from Lisa's words, is that the onus is always on us to change. If you're ND, the onus is always put on us to fit in with everybody else. From a personal note, even from when I was a small child, whenever I used to line things up and stack things up, that was always deemed as inappropriate play. And I was the one who had to change. Even in workplace spheres, whenever I started out in my career, back in the dark old days as a social worker, again, beating the stereotype of ND people normally working in tech, we are everywhere. That is the point. We are in every single profession all over the world, and we need accepted for who we are, because whilst a lot of practices and both the education and corporate sectors try to be as well-meaning as possible, it's not always the case that ND people within those environments are supported and encouraged to perform and even live to the best of their ability and comfort level. So the message of ION for every setting, whether that's in the education settings, no matter what age, from very early years right up to third level, to academic level, to workplaces, everywhere in the world, our one mission is the same, is that neurodiversity should be the accepted model around the world, and ION are going to facilitate that everywhere. So thank you once again to Lisa and to Andrew, because we can't wait to share more and more as our journey goes on of how ION will expand globally and support ND people in every corner of our perfectly round earth. So up next, we thought we would have a celebratory tone for our launch event. And joining us today, we have a two-time Billboard charting singer-songwriter from Saratoga Springs, New York. Her song, Not So Different, has become an anthem for neurodiversity in recent years. It's been sung by communities around the world at events, walks, concerts. The music video itself has been viewed well over 100,000 times, and the song's been used by educators and groups in Brazil, Poland, Australia, the UK, and beyond. Not So Different, it was also re-recorded by the Goo Goo Dolls, 10,000 Maniacs, and Cassandra, launched with a performance to raise tens of thousands of dollars for autism and neurodiversity initiatives. And I am so thrilled to welcome to this launch Cassandra Kubinski performing her smash song, Not So Different. I really hope you enjoy this one because we all certainly do.
Hello, everybody around the world. My name is Cassandra Kubinski, and I am so thrilled to be here with you today, celebrating and supporting the neurodiverse community around the world and celebrating the launch of ION, the Institute of Neurodiversity. I know this is going to be a huge game changer for the neurodiverse population around the world, and all of us just experiencing more acceptance for our unique gifts and talents. So I am here today to play a song called Not So Different that I wrote. I wrote this for a dear friend who has 2 sons on the autism spectrum, and it has since become kind of an anthem for acceptance in a lot of different countries around the world. And there's a part for you guys to sing in it. You're going to know it when you hear it. It goes like this. Hey, yeah, yeah. So you'll hear, we're not so different. And then you would sing, hey, yeah, yeah. So if you're at home, don't be shy. Raise your voices all together as a global community when that part comes up. This is called Not So Different. Well, I can be sunshine, even when all you see is rain. I can be silence. Inside I'm calling out your name. Words don't come easy, but I hear everything you say. So reach out and touch me. I need to feel your heart today. But don't say that I'm in the dark, 'cause you can't see my light. It takes every color in the spectrum to make the world so bright. If we want to understand, we all must learn to listen. 'Cause love speaks in a million ways, and in the end, we're not so different. Hey, hey, yeah. That's your part. We're not so different. Hey, hey, yeah. Now it can be hard, I know, when all you want to do is help. But trust that I'm learning everything I need within myself. It takes a village, it takes a will, it takes some work, and it takes time. Discovering slowly, growing the world that's in my mind. Don't say that I'm in the dark, 'cause you can't see my light. It takes every color in the spectrum to make the world so bright. If we want to understand, we all must learn to listen. 'Cause love speaks in a million ways, and in the end, we're not so different. Hey, hey, yeah. We're not so different. Hey, yeah, yeah. Oh, we're not so different. No, you and me. Can't you see? Yeah, we're not so different. So walk with me here now. Can you feel the beat moving us along. We're not alone now. No, we are millions strong, and I know we'll get there, to the place where we belong, where everyone joins together. So join together and help me sing my song. Don't say that I'm in the dark, 'cause you can't see my light. It takes every color in the spectrum to make the world so bright. And if we want to understand, you know we all must learn to listen. 'Cause love speaks in a million ways, and in the end, we're not so different. Hey, yeah, yeah. No, we're not so different. Hey, yeah, yeah. No, we're not so different. No, you and me. Oh, can't you see? No, we're not so different. Hey, yeah, yeah.
Hey. Thank you so much to Cassandra for making these videos for us for our amazing launch event. And to reach Cassandra Kubinski is at all social media platforms under Cassandra Kubinski. And again, that just makes everyone feel so uplifted. Such a wonderful song, and will surely be adapted as an anthem for neurodiversity itself. So moving forward, I want to introduce our panel discussion now with some other of our steering group members, and this is going to be moderated by the one and only Jeremy Davey, who will be our moderator for this and putting questions to us as the steering group. So for this panel discussion, I will hand over to our very own Jeremy Davey, alongside myself, Morrow Stewart, Miranda Morgan, and Andre Skeppel, and we will give our introductions in a bit. And Jeremy, it's over to you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Jude. A real pleasure and privilege, actually, to be here today with you all. And I just wanted to start by introducing our panelists. I probably ought to introduce myself. So I work for Microsoft. I'm a program architect there. Leading the global neurodiversity community within the company. That's 2,000 plus members now and growing at about 10% a month. My real job in the company is actually to design solutions, lead teams designing solutions for our largest customers. I'm also, as you can see in the photo, a specialist reserve officer in the Royal Corps of Signals, basically taking my day job into that side of the UK. And just to kind of explain Jude's little line at the bottom there about neurodiversity's fastest person, 24 years ago today, the 15th of October 1997, I was part of a team that set the world's first supersonic world land speed record in the desert in Nevada in America using a car called Thrust SSC. Many of you may remember that rather fun and exciting project. So that's me. I'd then like to sort of introduce our panel. Morena, perhaps you'd like to go first.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's lovely to be here. I'm Morena Stewart, as Jeremy said. I'm an executive coach to neurodiverse or divergent and also neurotypical people and teams up to board level. I'm also a writer, editor, trainer across all sectors and industries.
Fantastic. Thank you, Morena. Miranda, would you like to go next?
Good morning. So I'm Miranda Morgan. I'm autistic and I'm a social worker, and I'm basically advocating on behalf of neurodiverse people in the workplace mainly, setting up neurodiverse support network groups and just bringing people together.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miranda. Andre, perhaps you could introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the launch. My name is Andre Skeppel. I'm also the founder and CEO of a very exciting company for neurodivergent children, young people, full spectrum. And I'm dyspraxic and dyslexic. So probably representing a minority here today, and I'm keen to give my thoughts and viewpoints from my perspective.
Brilliant. Thank you, Andre. And last but definitely not least, Jude.
Thank you, Jeremy. And I was saving my actual introduction for this part rather than the start to save me having to do it twice. My name's Jude Morrow. I'm the founder of Neurodiversity Training International, and I work with groups like ION and businesses to get neurodiversity through their marketing message, through their launches, events, programs, activities, and through their entire corporate culture. So that's what I do. I've been known to speak now and again and churn out the occasional book. Again, I am so proud to be here. It doesn't seem real. It seems so abstract from all of our meetings over the last, 7-8 months to make this a reality. So I'm just super chuffed and kind of lapping it all up like the rest of us. So it's absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jude. And look, we're super chuffed and dead proud, of course, to have you here today. So I'd like to start, if I may, with yourself, Morrow. And I wonder, please, if you could tell us, what is ION Stories? How can we get involved and tell our story?
Thanks. Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, as you said, it is an absolute privilege both to work with wonderful ION colleagues, and to do the work that we do. But for me, it's been a particular joy to be the lead and editor for ION Stories. What ION Stories is a series of blogs, vlogs, and also the ION Stories podcast, which I host. So ION Stories are designed to inspire and educate people. They're designed to highlight and promote neurodiverse talent to the world. They highlight the remarkable experience and expertise of ND people and businesses across the world. They also focus on the full reality of ND experience, not just the deficit story on the one hand, or the superhero story on the other extreme. It's all experience in between, and sometimes some controversial views as well, which is fun. You can find the podcast ION Stories on all the major podcast platforms. So please do have a listen and promote. And to be featured as one of our members, please do contact us through the ION Stories webpage, which we will share, or connect with me on LinkedIn. Love to hear your stories. Really look forward to hearing from you. Yeah, that's ION Stories. Thank you.
Morrow, thank you so much. And you know, one thing I've learned in the last 3, 4, 5 years of driving neurodiversity within Microsoft is how important that lived experience of neurodiverse people is in terms of, you know, conveying the message, you know, perhaps, you know, most of all to the neurotypical population. Miranda, which I think brings us really to yourself and your very crucial role, you know, in social work and supporting those who are most vulnerable. And you know, you've talked to us a lot within our group about that disparity among neurodiverse professionals in healthcare and social care workplaces. And I think my question for you is, how is ION going to improve that disparity? Oh, you're still on mute, Miranda.
Thank you. I think, as I said as I introduced myself, that I am an autistic person and a senior social worker of over 17 years working in children and family sector. So I know there is much work to be done within the profession of social work and across the health sector. So I believe this work starts with raising awareness of neurodiversity to break down myths and barriers for neurodiverse employees and the communities they serve. So myself and ION, I think we're completely committed to opening the dialogue with organisations, equality and inclusion groups within the social care sector. And this includes, but are not limited to, local government, Social Work England, Social Care Wales, social service councils in Scotland and Northern Ireland, the NHS and trade unions. And I believe in doing this, we create and steer future opportunities in equality, diversity and inclusion networks, which have been encouraged in the Workforce Disability Equality Standard reporting, which is a rich and diverse yearly reporting tool based on statutory staff surveys. So we know that many NHS trusts and local councils are beginning to take the topic of neurodiversity seriously. It is certainly an important topic, especially as the restructuring using integrated care system models of working give future opportunities to work more closely with social workers, mental health trusts, and local organisations such as Health Watch. So I believe ION can help organisations think about employment recruitment processes, support career development and progression, and provide support to ND employees in the workplace. So neurodiverse people are motivated and forward-thinking group, and organisations both in the public and private sector are beginning to value neurodiversity. So this is a time of learning, a time to reshape the landscape for neurodiverse people. And I believe that ION could be key partners in embedding what is possible with good practice that is both achievable and inclusive. And going forward with ION, my role will now be to set up ION Social Work.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Miranda. And we're so excited to have you and the whole of the social work profession, embedded into this. Andre, perhaps I could turn to yourself next, because I think it's really important to highlight that neurodiversity is about more than just autism. I think I've said many times that I seem to come across a new neurodiverse condition on about a monthly basis. So the list is long and growing. And my question for you is, how is ION supporting other conditions like dyspraxia and dyslexia?
So ION certainly raising awareness of conditions that are described to dyspraxia and dyslexia and others that are out there. But also, I think through the whole process of raising awareness and really kind of just poking the cat, it's really trying to like drum up more conversation for those who can provide their lived experience and actually show us some examples of what they've been through and some of the key elements that allow them to subscribe towards being ND themselves, that we can build up a library, build up a knowledge base of all the different conditions. I wouldn't even call them conditions. They are experiences, they are individuals that make up neurodiversity. And also, ION challenge titles. They challenge titles. I think particularly in the UK, we're very much incumbent in the thinking that, we've got to put people in boxes. And so what you find within people who are ND, they're not just autistic, they're not just having ADHD or dyspraxic or whatever. There's a blend, it's a spectrum. And so with a spectrum, you're gonna have colours that cross over, and there's intersectionalities are what defines the individual rather than the individual defining the label. And so with that, one of the key challenges that I can see ION moving to the next leap in the frontier, and also to coincide with the target of having 1 million members by 2025, is challenge this one single philosophy. Is there such thing as being neurotypical, or is everyone neurodiverse? Because essentially it's all down to information, right? If we understand in terms of different people's perspectives and different people's, what they classify themselves in terms of their neurological statuses, then this is what can bring a much more intrinsic society where we can all thrive and collaborate accordingly.
Andre, that's brilliant, thank you. And I was particularly delighted to hear you use the word intersectionality there. I absolutely loathe the alternative of comorbidity, which seems to be like something from the Addams family. So really pleased to hear that word in there, and thank you. And Jude, last but not least, look, I'm a great fan of having what I call BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. Trying to break the sound barrier on land, we were told by numerous eminent professors was impossible, and we would end up killing the driver. Clearly we didn't. Clearly we demonstrated that was wrong, and it was a fantastic goal to go for and to actually achieve. And ION's got its own BHAG. It seeks to have 1 million members. How's that going to be possible?
Well, through exactly what you just said, BHAG, I am going to steal that. So BHAG, big audacious hairy goals. Yeah, that's me. I suppose if you look at my birth certificate, they're probably all my middle names. And with ION, with the global expansion, this is how people can get involved with ION and really help set up ION in their own area. As Andrew talked about earlier, and that I'll talk more about for the second kind of launch event later on today, is that ION will have a social franchise model. So that means that someone with the right ambition, if anyone wants to be the handsome face of it and the hopeful one in their area of ION, they can be. And How that'll be done through the ION website. And it means that in local areas, it means people can apply for local grants, local funding to really help spread the ND message. So with all the countries in the world, I'm not sure how many there are, but the long-standing vision is to have an ION franchise in every country in the world and every region. I mean, if people want to set up one in the South Pole, I am sure we can make that happen. And that's ultimately what we want to do, is we want to have a world where there's a neurodiversity and ION chapter absolutely everywhere. And even as far as ION's concerned, like a year ago, everything was a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. But this has now become reality. And with ION having franchises and chapters all over the world, that is slowly becoming a big, massive reality. So that's exactly what we want to do. And for anybody here that wants to set up ION in their area or is interested in at least discussing it, my door is always open. I always like to say I have one of the most open doors in neurodiversity. So if you have any questions about it, of course, please come at me with them.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jude. And I'm going to steal that, by the way, big, massive reality. I love that, and that's something I'm going to take into my day job. So thank you all. It's really exciting, about ION's planning to do, about the services that ION is putting in place for neurodiversity, and the initiatives that ION is driving. I can't tell you how excited I am that this is moving forward so positively. So please, anyone out there who wants to learn more, reach out and join us. You can do that through the website. And we really look forward to you becoming part of this big global community. So that's the end of our sort of fireside chat, for want of a better word. And I'd like to hand back, if I may, to our leader, Charlotte. Charlotte, you're still on mute, my friend.
Two years later, and we're still making that mistake, huh? That's great. Today we are launching with already 4 chapters set up. We're headquartered in Switzerland. We have a chapter in Ireland, chapter in the UK, and a chapter in Australia. And really, as Jude said, we want to be in all the countries in the world with a chapter working under the same branding, and where we spread the good news together, and you have all the support from the center in terms of branding, in terms of website, and backstage operations and administration. So we try to set it up in such a way that we are as scalable as possible. We have a big vision, 1 million members by the end of 2025. We have to be able to be scalable from day one. If you go to our website, ionneurodiversity.com, you will see that there's already a lot of things on it, but as we work together with all our members, we will fill up various forums. We will have members in our member directory where we can all see each other and collaborate. And we will have events and everything that brings us together. And all of that can happen on a global level, as we are today, or individually local. So we're global, but local. And that's what's really, really important, to actually bring this community together in the right way, in my view. So everything you've heard from everybody is now happening. Now we just need to push out, and hopefully all our members will continuously be advocates for ION and for neurodiversity to become better. And that's really all there is to it. It's very exciting, and I can't wait to see us grow from here.
And we will grow from here, because every journey starts with a single step, and every storm at sea starts with a single wave. So what we want to do is we want to create a positive storm. We want to push ION out into the world, because there's a big emphasis in our community about finding your tribe. And with your tribe is ION. And we are the tribe that you've always wanted, that the ND community across the world has been crying out for so long. And you can join ION at ionneurodiversity.com. And by the way, there are going to be lots of questions that you will all have, which of course you can direct at us as individuals, whether that's on LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. We're all very easily found. So I would encourage that is to let's keep this conversation going, because we want to get momentum. We want to really drive ION out into the planet, and hopefully in many, many centuries to come, we can even become intergalactic, never mind international. So I want to thank everybody once again for coming on to this amazing launch event. And our ultimate call to action for you is to join ION. That's what we want. We want you here. We want to welcome you, embrace you, support you, help you, and even guide you to become an ION champion in your area, no matter where that is in the world. And almost as if it's a parting thought, you may think 1 million members, wow, that's incredibly ambitious, or that's a BHAG goal, as Jeremy just called it. As it sits, as of today, on the 15th of October 2021, we have approximately 7.8 billion people on this planet. 7.8 billion, like that's a lot of people. And some studies, it's not overly clear, but it is believed that around 20% of the world's population are ND. So 20% of 7.8 billion is, not that my maths is wonderful, but roughly around 1.5 billion. And to put into context, 1 billion is 1,000 millions. So what we need to make our dream into our BHAG, into our massive reality, is to have 0.001% of people on this planet signing up to ION, because whenever we get to 1 billion, then we'll be surely on the course for 1 billion. And for every one of you who's come and joined us today, we can't thank you enough. We do have another event later on today, which is at 5 p.m. So if you've come to this and you've been absolutely inspired and blown away beyond belief, then you can join us later on today again, if you want to come again and be blown away twice, or if you have any colleagues that would be very interested in hearing what we have to say, I have just put in the link, the sign up link for the second event into the chat box, so everybody can copy, paste it, steal it, distribute it, and ultimately sign up again. So with every good campaign, with every good heart-led mission, what is needed is an anthem. And this will, I hope, become one day the Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind version of the neurodiversity movement anthem. And once again, I am absolutely delighted to welcome back onto the stage again to sing us out, to inspire us and give us some more energy and zip for the rest of the day. I want to welcome back Cassandra Kubinski.
Hello again. So one of the reasons that I'm so honored to be here and be part of this ION launch is that one of ION's missions is to grow to 1 million members by 2025. And I just released a brand new album, an EP, that is coincidentally called 1 Million Hearts on October 1st. So I believe that songs and that music can help us to connect and to heal and to change in really big ways, and not just in the culture and societally, but really more importantly inside of our own hearts and minds, in our own bodies and our own souls. So my mission with my songs and my music is to inspire this change in 1 million hearts, at least starting with 1 million hearts. And so that's part of why I'm so proud to be a part of ION's mission to connect and elevate the experience for 1 million members of the neurodiverse population by 2025. So I'm going to play you guys the title song from my new EP, 1 Million Hearts. And as I play it, I really invite you to imagine what it feels like for yourself to be a part of a world, a workplace, a family that is more accepting, more nurturing, and more celebrating of our gifts and our talents exactly as we are. So I offer this song to all of you. I see you, you're trying to change, make a difference, rearrange, but when you start to shift, you feel too ashamed, too estranged, so busy handing out blame or taking it. I feel you, it's no easy task, no small ask, to let go of the comfortable fears that you know. Take the risk to exist as yourself without faking it. What does it take? How does it start? Reaching 1 million hearts. How in this world will you make your mark when 1 million hearts need you now? What you've got to give, and only you can. What you've learned and lived, and that's how it starts. Reaching 1 million hearts, hearts, hearts. 1 million hearts, hearts, hearts. I feel you. I've been there a few thousand times in the rise and the fall. Sure that I couldn't possibly matter at all. But then why does this dream always reappear? What does it take? How does it start? Reaching 1 million hearts. How in this world will you make your mark when 1 million hearts, they need you now? What you've got to give, and only you can. It's what you've learned and lived, and that's how it starts. With one breath, one step, one less regret. One and on, till one day there's a million. And that's what it takes. That's how it starts. When 1 million hearts, they need you now. What you've got to give, and only you can. It's what you've learned and lived, and that's how it starts. Reaching 1 million hearts, hearts. Oh, that's how it starts. Healing your heart, heart, heart. 1 million hearts, hearts, hearts. 1 million hearts. Ooh. 1 million hearts, hearts. Thank you all so much for having me today. Thank you, Ion, for presenting this launch event, inviting me, and really shifting the landscape for the neurodiverse community. I'm really grateful to be in it with you. And for all of you watching at home, I would love to connect with you and hear from you. So please send me a note. You can find me at CassandraKavinsky.com on all of your favorite music platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, of course. And if you'd like, you can send me a personal message on Facebook or Instagram at Cassandra Kavinsky. So I really look forward to connecting with you. And again, congratulations, Ion, and thank you all for being here today. Bye.
And thank you so much to you once again, Cassandra. And as a final note, thank you all so much again for coming along. I've seen all the lovely comments in the chat box. And to me, dare I say it, in my most modest and humble of opinions, I think that is very much mission accomplished. So once again, I'm going to put the link back into the chat box for everybody. We do have a 5 p.m. GMT event that you can come along to. So if you have been inspired and feel, wow, I would love my colleagues, friends, children, family, and whoever you want to come along to the second one, the link is there. Sign up, and we would look forward to welcoming you to the second event. So I suppose I give my thanks. Thank you to Charlotte for giving me the chance to not only be involved in a way, but to host the launch and everything else with it. So It is see you later, literally, which will be 5 o'clock. So come along to the 5 o'clock event. It has been wonderful. You've been wonderful. Resounding success. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Yay!